welder. And I seen you can pull them up on the website. I don't remember where I seen them at on the website, but I just pulled them up on the internet. The structure of it. That structure was designed for an easy implosion, so that the building, if imploded, in other words, there was a note on there that said, designed in such a way that if needed to be removed in later times, it would be easy to implode it.
All right.
So, yes, 911 isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy reality.
But can we say safely on that one that aliens were probably not involved?
No, I can say they were involved. You've seen the film of the UFO 2 weeks prior to that.
Really?
Yeah. I would say they were 100% involved. And I would also mention the fact that a girl named Tanya Kovanov, who was a low-level advisor to Zuma in the Kremlin, and Jeffrey Nyquist said this, that I think it was 2 months prior to that, she had advised the Russian parliament or the Russian officials that they needed to liquidate all of their United States assets and get rid of the United States money and use minute gold coins, because in 2 months we were going to get hit by a shadow force.
Really?
Yes. And that's a written fact. That's factual. Her and Tanya Kovanov and Colonel Lunov are a real big player in this, I believe. The Russians knew there was a synchronicity to this thing, and people that want to say, "Oh, that's just conspiracy." Well, yeah, it is if you weren't on the inside like some of us were. And no, I didn't. I wasn't there, and when the orders were given and this and that. But I know people that were, and I know how they operate, and I know that this was synchronized, and the plan went down accordingly and exactly. It was a planned operation, and that is not a conspiracy. I'll safely tell you that. That is not a conspiracy. That happened. That show that you can download in plain sight is probably the best running evidence and loose change that I've ever seen to being the truth. And I won't say certain things, but loose change in plain sight has so almost right. I just almost wanted to call so I could just give them the little bit of extra that they needed, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get back. We have numbers of questions coming in, and we're talking about, and we continue to have questions about clones and such. And of course, little by little, they're rolling out. I know the FDA rolled out talking about people eating cloned meat, saying that they should slow it down till people get used to the idea of cloned meat. Maybe perhaps we're really getting used to the idea of cloned humans.
Yeah, I've got a document sent from an agent that you know, and I'm not going to mention his name, and and I've got a document here I'm going to read to you, if you don't mind, about the cloning operation.
Yeah, go ahead.
In its exactness, okay? This is a person who sent me this and wanted me to say this, okay?
Okay.
And this is from somebody who went through this experience and whose high level of credibility, very high level. I won't even, and there's actual locations in here, which do you think I'm afraid really to say the locations? I'm kind of iffy on that. Do you feel comfortable with saying the location?
Oh, yeah, heck yeah, say the location.
Okay. Okay, pulling up here, okay. Number 1, G.W. Bush clone with mind control device attached to his back. I've got a picture. You can see it poking through his teeth.
All right.
This is a programming device for initial programming. According to my sources, this clone had just been put into place and had yet to complete its programming. Last year I was contacted by someone in the intelligence community. They told me that a message about my part in Project Mannequin would be sent to me in an issue 45 of I Spy Intelligence magazine. It shows one of my clones, the young man with the eyes blacked out, who looks identical. He even puts the same face as my concentrated face. I thought at first it may have been a photo of me from an op I do not remember. But then I saw his arm had no tattoo, as I have one on mine. And I remember multiple copies of me being made in the tubes at the AL-499 NSA base in Berkshire. Man looks slightly younger than me. The gray hair I now have. My aging process has seemed to accelerate in the last couple of years. This leads me again to the biggest question of my deprogramming. Who am I exactly? So, let me scroll down here and get you to... Okay, here we go. Just for the record, the cages are lit up with infrared lighting. This is how they do it. I'm not exactly sure how this helps contain the bioplasmic, but it does. Some kind of advanced mirrors are then positioned around the tubes. I have been through this ritual, as has another one of my friends who worked for the intelligence group, who was involved. Operations around the Brecon, Wales area, sealing off the areas of dead bodies and camper vans with missing people. Not sure if this is my original body, but it changed tremendously after the procedure. In my case, thrown into a cage with a huge snake, parentheses, black skin larger than an anaconda. This was just before I was involved in the first stages of a Masonic ritual, which involved being shown ancient artifacts and manuscripts in glass cabinets in a room above a large caged area by a tall man in a suit. Anyway, this is a long, complicated story. My memories are shot through, but I think this happened to me at Brecon Beacon facility. As I have just mentioned, another guy connected to the intelligence says he saw me in this facility. We walked in a van around. We walked in a van around Portsmouth area where we were followed by surveillance cars. And then it says, from my understanding, it takes 1 year to grow a cloned body. So they could have planned to take Mr. Paulson out over a year and replace him with another clone under psychological control. I don't mind using that name.
Right.
However, my information might be out of date by now. The NSA can possibly create a clone in the time that you say. The MIEC, which stands for Military Industrial Extraterrestrial Complex, is racing ahead with their agendas in the last couple of years. And the military and intelligence apparatuses have been given a lot more technology by non-human beings in this time. The NSA can now download your memories and emotions into a computer called soul transference and install into a clone of you and then destroy the original body. I have not gone public with this before, but I will tell you now. Maybe you could pass the intel to the public domain. There is a Masonic ritual above the 33rd degree that is an advanced version of the ancient ritual called Osiris, slain and risen. A Mason or other individual is thrown into a cage.
Okay.
Large tiger, lion, snake, etc., and has to fight the animal. The ancient Spartans did this, a version of this. Most of the time, the individual is ripped to pieces. When this happens, the advanced electromagnetic fields around the cage